Hola! In today's video, we are going to be talking about how to say no, but first I have a story. Once upon a time, a boy asked a girl out and the girl said, I'll get back to you, okay? And the girl went home and she had to do one thing. She had to go in front of the mirror and she had to practice something. She had to practice one word that she felt almost ashamed to say. She kept trying to say it, but it kept coming out wrong. She kept on mispronouncing it. She tried to say this word that was coming to her mind, this answer that she wanted to give the boy, but the answer that was coming out of her mouth was not the one in her mind. It was yes. She looks at herself in the mirror. She's like, no, not yes. And she tries again. She tries to say the word she's thinking of. And she says, maybe. No, that's not the word. She tries again. She focuses this time. She looks at herself. I'd love to. No, I'd enjoy it. No, that's not the word. No. She feels so much shame. It's like beating in her chest. She's thinking, how do I say this word? How do I say this word? Sure, of course. That sounds like fun. All of these are coming out of her mouth. She's like, no. And the girl grows exhausted in front of the mirror and she's just done with this all. And feeling fully worn out, she looks at herself in the mirror and wearily says, no. Then she says again, no. I don't want to go on a date with you. No. That's the answer. No. And she says it over again. Over and over and over and over. No. And she gets it down. She's able to get it. And she almost doesn't feel as much shame when she says it. And it's awesome. So she goes to the boy the next day and she goes to him and says, no, I don't want to go on a date with you. But that's not what the boy hears. No, I don't want to go on a date with you came out of her mouth. But what the boy hears is, try harder. Try harder and then you can win me. And so the boy says, okay. She said no, but that means just I gotta try harder. So I'm gonna try harder until she says yes. Do you see a problem here? Society, I believe, needs to move in a direction where we mean what we say and where we say what we mean. And when we hear what other people have to say, we interpret what they say as what they must mean. And the first step to getting there is being able to say what we mean and to mean what we say. And in many cases, that means we need to learn how to say no. And that's exactly what we'll be discussing in today's episode of Love Stories with Grady. Hola, my name is Grady Wisework, and I'm a 22-year-old man here to chat with you about your relational game plan. And in your relational game plan, you might need to learn how to say no, so that's what we're discussing today. This topic is straight from the 1957 book, Facts of Life and Love for Teenagers, written by Evelyn Millis Duvall. And did I mention it was from 1957? I believe I did. And no, I am not sponsored for this book, even though if I would get 1,000,000 pounds of gold for every time I mention this book, I would probably have like 26 million pounds of gold, which is pretty awesome. There's a lot of cases where you might be needing to say no. Maybe your date wants to bring you to somewhere that you don't want to go to. Maybe your date wants to do something with you that you don't want to do. Or maybe someone is interested in you that you don't want to go out with. Or maybe you're in the break room and your boss is offering you a bowl of 3-day-old broccoli soup. There's a lot of reasons in life to say no. All right, so first off, you have to consider if you even want to say no. If you're hesitant before you say yes or no, ask yourself, is it worth it to say yes? And if it's not worth it to say yes, if it's not something you want to do, if it's not something that's good for society or humanity or that person or you, just say no, okay? Is it worth the constant state of feeling discontent? Is it worth the regret that I might feel if I do say yes? And Evelyn Millis Duvall in her book says, will saying yes take me where I want to go in life? And if it's not going to take me where I want to go in life, then why am I saying yes? If it's not what you believe, or if it's not adding up with your future, or if it's not in line with the person that you want to be able to say no. So how do you say no? When you know who you are and what you want, it's so much easier to say sorry, but insert whatever the problem is and the request is right here, is not for me. And you don't even have to give a reason for no. I was talking about this with a friend years ago. No should be suffice. If you say no, that person should take you for your word. Don't tell a white lie. It might come back to bite you. The kindest refusal is firm, yet considerate of the other person's feelings. Here are some ways that you can reject a date if you are speaking truthfully. Sorry, I have something else going on. Sorry, not interested. Sorry, I'm not allowed to date. But you're 40. Yes, I know. I know. Bye. I know. I'm not allowing myself to date you. Bye-bye. Probably the best one out of these is sorry, I'm not interested. And you don't need to give a reason for not being interested. You can just say not interested. They might ask you and say, personal preference. Walk away. Remember, be firm. And the one and only step to how to hear no. If someone tells you no, here's how to hear it. Say okay. And then hear it and say okay. I'm not saying you can never ask why someone's no is a no. I'm just saying you're not obligated to tell if you do not want to. I believe communication is good, and sometimes communication between strong people who have a good relationship, it's good to explore that no and why the person has a no. However, if you don't have a strong bond with this person, don't feel as if you need to give your whole life story for why you are saying no. Here's why I think no is so important. For example, being able to say no and just get straight to the point. I believe humanity would be so much better if we were able to say no without feeling shame, and then if we were able to hear no and be like, oh, okay, at least they told me the truth and how they felt. I know a guy who was asked to prom by a girl in front of her whole family, and he stands there and he says, yes, I would love to. And then he takes the girl to the side, away from the family, like a day later, and then says, no, I actually didn't want to go. I just felt obligated to because your family was right there, so I don't want to go with you. Do you know how much that would hurt the girl? I mean, it does suck if he says no right in front of the family, but like he just flippantly said yes and then flippantly told her no. I also know a girl who was asked to prom or homecoming or whatever by a boy over text, and he literally sent a text something like this. He's like, hey, I can bench 250 pounds. Want to go to homecoming with me? Like, not even joking. That was his way of asking. And she's like, no. He's like, I can do like 100 push-ups in a row. You want to go to homecoming with me? He thought she was like being hard to get or something. And she's like, no. She's like, no, I don't want to go with you. And this guy had like anger problems. This guy like sometimes he would hear something he didn't like out in class. He would get up and like start kicking the wall or something like that. And so this guy started getting really mad. He's like, you don't want to go with me? You don't want to go with me? And this girl was like getting legitimately scared, deservedly so, because this boy was going like off the rails, and she simply said no, and she stood her ground. And she texts like some of these boys' friends. She's like, you need to make sure like he stays in line, because I don't want him hurting me. I don't owe him to go to prom with him, but I also do not want to get hurt by him just because he asked and got an answer that had the potential of being no. For a while, she had to be escorted around school to make sure that this crazy man didn't beat her up. To all the girls out there and boys, you are not ever obligated to say yes. You are not obligated to say yes. You are not obligated to say yes. Repeat with me. I am not obligated to say yes. If you want to say no, say no. How to say no? Believe that you can say no, and then say no, and then be able to walk away knowing that you did the right things. I'm not saying that sometimes you can't compromise how you feel in order for the interests and best interests of other people. However, be willing to be able to say no. There's a balance, and not everything that people request from you is going to be in line with the person that you are. So be able to say no. I don't know how else to say it. Say no. How to say no? Say no. How to hear no? Hear no. That's all it takes. I should have just made that the 5-second video. How to say no? No. I'm gonna round out today's video with a quote from the book. All through life, there will be many opportunities to use the skill of saying no. There will always be dates to refuse, temptations to avoid, burdensome responsibilities to escape, and lesser values to deny. Life is full of choices. Learning how to say no easily, comfortably, courteously, and definitely is important. It involves much more than the pronouncing of a single syllable. It means making up your own mind as to what you want to have happen, and then taking your stand. So take your stand. You got this. We're gonna test this real quick. I'm gonna say something to you, and you're gonna say no, and you're gonna do the opposite. Ready? I don't want you to subscribe. And now as practice, you say, no, I will subscribe. And then you click the subscribe button right below. And then I'm gonna say, you shouldn't comment below and tell me how you said no to other people or how you wished you would have said no to other people. And instead of listening to me, you're gonna say, no, I am going to comment below and talk about how there was a time where I did say no to someone, or how I wanted to say no to someone. And I'm gonna tell you, don't like this video below. And you're gonna say, no, I am going to like this video below. All right, good job. You passed all those tests. You subscribed, you commented below, and you liked this video. Well done. Good job at saying no to me. All right, gang, I have to go say no to some people, so I will catch you on the flip side of this video. I'll catch you on the next one. And until then, be awesome, be great, and be beautiful. Adios. And be beautiful. Adios.